Well, I decided to go live early. I just wanted to thank everybody for being here, and we have a very special night. Unfortunately, there was some a little bit of a technical difficulty, and Joe won't be able to be here. He ended up having something to do, but we've got our one and only super customer service excelente, Frank Ritchotte. Here he comes right now. And welcome, Frank Ritchotte.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
I'm going well, man. Hey, by the way, Joe just texted me. He said he's happy to do a one-on-one with you when he can.
That's fine.
Serious technical issues.
No worries. That's not a problem. Not a problem.
How you doing, everybody?
So, okay. So, this has been one terrible year so far, and the last time that we saw each other was at NAMM in January, and that's when essentially on our way home in January excuse me, we had the problem with COVID, and it's caused lots of problems. How are you personally weathering?
So, yeah, personally, the family are healthy and all good, so that's great. And I hope everybody is, that's our number one thing, is healthy and safe. Yeah, we were talking prior to going live here. Every year, NAMM, well, you have the T-shirt on, NAMMthrax. So every year, NAMM is you get sick, and I don't get sick often, but I get sick every year at NAMM because you got 100,000 people packed into a tiny space. It's inevitable. So, you look at it a little differently, but when you look at what's happened with COVID, it's pretty stunning. In fact, our building in Calabasas, and you've been there several times actually, yeah. Chad, we've been shut down since the middle of or late March, and we've got a few essential staff in there. And I think we keep a limited number of people, and it's highly, regular. We make sure we do everything properly. But we've been running basically remote since then. Development, operations, finance, everything in the company basically has been remote. We do some repair, limited repair, and that's really the only people who can be in the building because, of course, you have no choice but to be in the building if you're going to do repair. And we're doing, some limited stuff now, not full capacity, but we've been doing everything remote. And honestly, there's no real, the end is not in sight yet for sure. I would say minimum several more months. So it has been a huge challenge, but I would say that the team at Yamaha Guitar Group have stepped up, and we're actually doing really well given the circumstances. So, it's been a challenge, but we're doing what we can do, and we're hoping for the best and hoping this thing gets behind us soon.
Yeah, it's been an interesting few months. And now, does this give you guys ideas if the future, clears out and you bring everybody back to work? Well, does some of this maybe continue on, people working from home? Has it been successful? Has there been pitfalls?
I think, frankly, it's gone stunningly well, which tells you a few things. I think we can look at the office environment a little differently, and I think we will. I think many companies will going forward. I think we'll look at kind of general health and the maintenance and the support of healthy habits at work. I think you'll see everybody. I don't think you'll necessarily see masks, forever, but I think you'll see a lot more awareness of just a safe way to be in an environment where there's a lot of people. So I think we will take away a lot of things out of this, and I think frankly they'll be really good. But I want to get back to the office and see my compadres, and I want to get this behind us. We're just got to keep doing the right thing, and hopefully we'll nail this.
Yeah, I think good hygiene and those are those are things that you take for granted that people were doing all along, but maybe possibly not. And I think this has taught everybody the value of washing their hands and keeping maybe I still think hugs and handshakes should never be taken away. I mean, obviously
Nope.
care right now, but those are the things that in the future I really think it's just a human expression. I don't ever want to see those go away.
I agree. You know, uh, I look forward to handshakes again because the yellow bumps are getting a little old.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but there's that, and then there's the other side of the spectrum where I mean there are things you can do, and we're doing them now in our office that can just make it a safer environment. Um, for to have a lot of people and potentially germs and viruses and that whatnot. So I think we can improve the way we operate our day to day stuff, our business, personally and professionally. But at the end of the day, you're right. I want to get back to being able to shake someone's hand and not wearing a mask, and so that's the goal, right?
Right. Yeah. That is the goal. Has how you? I've always been amazed, and I think a lot of people will parrot this at Line 6's dedication to customer support. Maybe not in the far past. Maybe it wasn't so good, but the recent the recent iteration of Line 6, from Helix days, it's been amazing, and you hear that a lot. How has this whole situation changed or enhanced, or has it done anything to your outlook on customer service?
This is this is one of the things I'm most proud of is that our team and our team is really good. Our phone support team, our logistics and fulfillment team, when we jump on something and take care of you, they're like on it. They have been doing amazing work through this. They're working. The support team are working from home. Our phone system's routing calls out to their homes, and they're doing their thing every day. They literally haven't skipped a beat. Now, we have days where tickets stack up. There's a requirement for gear for some calls because remember, a lot of calls are on FlexTone or some older products where we really need the gear in front of us, and that can slow us down. But we have a process by which we can get back to someone and answer their question. But generally, they have been doing an unbelievable job. Our ticket turnaround time has been, it's slowed down a little bit, but I mean, given it's a pandemic, it's certainly not significant. So I think I'm really proud of that team. We're also really blessed because our distribution center up in San Leandro, California, up in the Bay Area, is run by a third party, and we have people there. We have David Murphy, who I'm sure a lot of people in the group know. He is our director of logistics, worldwide logistics, and he's up there, and he manages our team of guitar techs and now amplifier production techs who build all of our heritage, Ampeg heritage amplifiers. The 50th anniversaries, all being built there, all U.S. built, assembled, tested. So he manages all that, and where we really got lucky is we partnered with a company who actually does medical devices in another facility. So they're considered an essential. They are an essential business. So we have been able to stay open and continue to ship product and receive product. And on the other side, in China and in Indonesia, where our products are built, we were slowed down and shut down basically from NAM till about end of March. But our manufacturing facilities have ramped right up, and we are pretty much caught up. I mean, the number of pod goes we have built and shipped since the pandemic started is incredible. I'm not beautiful. I can't tell you how many because I'm not supposed to. But it's a lot. You can imagine it's a lot. I mean, you've seen the growth of the group. So really, it's been we've been blessed to have a lot of luck and a ton of amazing, great people who work for the company.
Speaking of shipping and fulfillment, I have a bit of that I've been doing myself, and since the pandemic, and actually even more recently, it's been really spotty with shipments and things getting to where they need to go. That has probably affected you too.
Yeah, I think for air freight, there's consolidation, even within UPS and FedEx of flights, and we've seen quite a few service, failures. But typically with those type of things, it's a service failure of a day or two. Now we get, obviously you pay for it, so you got to get that back. But
Yeah.
I think overall our delivery services have been fairly good. There was a time early on when we were seriously disrupted, and certainly the other thing is our product coming from China, because volume out of China is down. Not because China is impacted. They've actually dealt with this really well. They're back to almost full operation. In fact, they are in a full operation. When they see a little bit of an outbreak, they shut down. They focus on the city that has the outbreak, and they address it. But generally, China's been doing really well. But the problem is a lot of companies in the U.S. aren't as lucky and blessed as we are to have a distribution center that hasn't been impacted.
Yeah.
And so they've slowed down. And so the volume out of China has slowed down, which means getting product from China to the U.S. and China to Europe and China to South America, the volume, the number of sailings and flights are all decreased. So it just becomes more challenging. But we've been getting by for sure.
You know, one of our divisions here in SEBA, we have some chemicals that is used in some industry, slurry and whatnot, and we've had to send some stuff over. There was a lag there at the beginning, but it has broken free. So it does look like China has opened up a little bit as far as manufacturing. So
yeah, I'm happy to say our office in Chang'an, which is southern China, Shenzhen area, about an hour from Hong Kong, we are back to full capacity. All of our staff are healthy and happy and back in the office, and we're in good shape there.
That's good. That's good. So, yeah, we were talking a little bit about the idea of NAM beforehand. Speaking of NAMthrax, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be something that they're going to be having this year. I mean, we don't have any intimate knowledge of this, but what do you think about that?
Yeah, the kind of the rumor out there is that by the middle of this month, so in the next week or two, they'll make a decision. I don't know how true that is, but my guess is it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
I just can't imagine 100,000 people in January is, as you know, packed in like sardines. Granted, a fantastic packed in like sardines when there's no COVID.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that's going to actually happen. So my guess is it'll be canceled. But YGG has not made any official position on that. So we're waiting to see what the announcement is, if there is one.
Now, speaking of customer service, what are your main core philosophies? Where did you learn them? How did you come up with them? Go ahead and talk about that.
So my background is primarily in supply chain and logistics and operations, not really customer service and support. So I guess I kind of I have the benefit of coming in not really having a background in it, really just looking at it. But I can tell you this, 5 years ago when Helix released, Eric Klein spent some time with me, explaining to me what this product was. And, I quickly realized that this was the, flagship. It was, in a space we haven't been in prior. And this thing was, expensive and highly technical, although, intuitive. But it was clear to me that we had to treat this differently than you treat, a Spider 15 amp, which, by the way, we completely cover and support all of our products. But Helix needed some white glove. It needed to be a white glove support and service treatment. And so we knowingly went into this saying we're gonna do this different. We are going to treat Helix and HX product customers with the highest of priority, just because they're the flagships, and we feel a great responsibility to back up, the products we put out there. And so far, our customers have just blown us away with the, not just the numbers, but the music they make. We are just blown away by, being able to help all of the musicians, many of whom are in your group and on this call, who produce music every day that is just amazing and creative. And so to us, we want to make sure we were very clear that this product and the Helix and HX families were going to be, you had nothing to worry about when it came to support. So our philosophy is fairly basic. We have a set of policies and guides, but we also have brains, and we can listen to customers and understand and, do the right thing. And so basically my team does the right thing, and they are all empowered to do the right thing. And if they have a question, they can come to me or Tony Reese, our support manager, and ask if they can do the right thing or what they can do. And we are always open to that, because I know personally, if I spend a lot of money on a product, I want to feel like the company is there, that I can get to the company. In fact, I won't go into it, but I've had some phone issues in the last couple of weeks. And, I'm an iPhone guy. Yeah. And I got to tell you, there are certain things with Apple that if you need to get a hold of, actually talk to somebody, it's nearly impossible. You can get the support line, the generic stuff, but if you get a very specific problem, it is nearly impossible. And it's frustrating because they're not cheap devices. And, I just kept thinking to myself, this is not a way to treat a customer who just bought, a really expensive phone. Yeah. But anyway, I don't want to be that company. I don't want to be the cable company when you call up and you just get, pat answers with no, it's just someone's reading off a script. I don't want to be that company. As long as I'm in the position, we won't be that company. And as long as Joe's in the position, we won't be that company. So that's basically our philosophy, Chad. It's, service and support are really post-sales support, and they're not just, when things go wrong. There needs to be peace of mind for our customers. And when someone sees Pod Go coming out and they say, wow, should I invest the money in Pod Go? I want them to log on and see your group with almost 30,000 members and see that, we're there and we're active, and I want them to see that they can get to us. And, basically they can. And I think they can.
Well, yeah.
Anytime they want.
It's easier. And this is one of the things that have always sort of bothered me is the couple responses that sometimes people have given. And now, mind you, people sometimes ask repeated questions and they don't know that they're repeated. Yeah. And sometimes you get the answer of, read the manual or Google it, and that's not what we've set out to do. If you can Google it, then you can actually write the answer with just a little bit more effort.
Your group,
yeah,
90% of the time, not only will you get the answer, you'll get it from 3 or 4 different people.
Yeah, in seconds, almost as fast as Google.
So speaking of that, just for the heck of it, before I got on, I just wanted to get some fun facts. So the Helix Facebook group is bigger than, and by the way, these are all great companies, but I'm just spitting out the facts here. Fractal, 10,000. Kemper, 10,000. Boss Pedals, 26,000. Been around a little while. 26,000. So you got them beat. Orange Amps, 8,000. Marshall Amps, 15,000. Fender Guitar Amp, which is the biggest of the Fender groups, 22,000. So you have created a community and around a product and a kind of a creative environment that is just incredible, Chad. And you're right. Almost any answer for any question you have for a Helix or an HX product is going to get answered if someone goes to your group and asks it. There's a few where they PM me and we go find the answer, or it's a real problem.
Right.
But generally, you guys, the horsepower in 30,000 knowledgeable users is just incredible.
And one of the things I've been fairly amazed is, we have 25 moderators, and they're all stupendous. It's just stupendous what they do for the folks. Let's see. Somebody says, yeah, the Helix Facebook group rocks. And so we got a few people. We got Aaron Short in here. Hi, Aaron. And
What's up, Aaron?
And we got DEFCON Clark in here. So
DEFCON.
Yeah, and JJ's.
Good time, man, with DEFCON Clark.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was fun. JJ's House of Jams, and then let's see, Terry. We got Terry in here. So, I have a few people in here, and I really thank them for watching. So, one thing about those groups, the Stomp group is up to 6,100 members as well. Mm-hmm. And the Podgo group, we need a few more. We need to bump them up. We got to get them in there. There may,
Well, I can tell you, based on what I've been doing in the supply chain side of this in China, your numbers are going to go up pretty significantly fairly soon. It's been ridiculous.
And so we got like 1,300 in that. So
yep.
It's I don't know how you do it, because I know that I go to bed about 11 o'clock and I'm usually up around 4 or 5. Do you get much rest?
I do, but so Chad, I explained this to a couple people. I did an interview with Reverb a while ago, and I explained to the person interviewing me. It seems like it's ridiculously over the top, but it's integrated into my life. This isn't like this isn't my job. So I don't like punch in, like right now, it's 10:19.
Yeah.
And, I just watched the Celtics game. And, I read some emails, answered a few emails. My China team are in, so I had to talk to them. And now I'm doing this. But this is just part of my life. When I interact with you guys, it's because I want to. It's not because I have to. So I do want to. And when I get up in the morning, yes, the first thing I do is check my email, check my instant message, check Facebook, go wish happy birthday to everybody on my Facebook page whose birthday it is. And I've got almost 5,000 friends now, so it's like 15 or 20 a day. But I say happy birthday to all of them. But it's because I want to. I don't have to. I enjoy it. And so it's not really – I hate that it sounds like I'm, killing myself when it's something I really enjoy. It's just a different approach to work and to dealing with your customers and friends.
Yeah, and I think I'm up to about almost 4,000 on Facebook, and for me it seems a little weird because it is just part of my life. I wake up and I check my emails, because it's not like I don't have a lot to do. I got a personal life, I got a family, just like you do, but I'm also running a business that takes a lot of effort and a lot of interaction. And I don't know how many. I literally, honestly, do not know how many groups I'm a member of,
mm-hmm.
and that doesn't include how many that we actually run. Chris and I.
Yep.
It's a nuts, and I'm in groups just for the fun. Like I'm in some camera groups and photography groups, and
So
but it's just part of.
I will say,
yeah.
I don't have the time to get into groups that are just like hobbies, like drones and things like that.
Yeah.
But I currently monitor roughly 30 groups. Yours is by far the biggest. But right below you is the Helix Praise and Worship group, and then Helix Italy, Helix Poland. There's so many different groups, and I monitor them all. But it's actually not that hard. You watch them, and when there's a question, when someone tags you, you answer it. It's not, and you'd think it would be. And I publish my details on all these groups, as you know, my cell, my email, all that stuff. But and you'd think, oh, you're going to get inundated. You don't, because people can reach you on the group, and if they got a real question or something they don't want to, talk about online, they'll get a hold of you. But it's not that often. I get 4 or 5 messages a day, maybe, and most of them are just, hey, how you doing, man? And occasionally I'll get questions or a ticket that someone wants me to follow up on. It really isn't that hard, and frankly, I don't understand how other companies can't be doing this. I mean,
It really should be the gold standard of what companies do. It isn't that difficult. It's just I get up and I answer questions, then I go about my day and I do the things. And if I can't use it, monitor it right this moment, I'll get back to it in a couple hours and spend 5 minutes and I've caught up, you know?
and there's a big distinction too between and why I said this isn't my job is I run the supply chain for the company. I run customer service, support, sales, operations. That's my job. But this is just a love of and a pride in what we do and our products, and an interest in our customers, and it's genuine. And because it's genuine, it's like when you get up and check Facebook or check any other post, you're really interested in it, and I'm interested. I know many of you guys. You've got 30,000. I don't know them all, but there's 100 of you that have been around for a long time that I feel like are like close friends at this point.
Oh yeah. Well,
I enjoy hooking up with you guys.
well, treating people as they are your friend, that's something you do, and that's something that I like to do. Is because when I say things and when I try and help somebody, or I really want to help them, I want them to get the very best. I want them to have a good life. I don't wish anybody any harm, and I think treating people like a close friend it is unique. Honestly, you don't see it in business for sure. So I've tried to pattern what I do after what I've seen you do. So,
Well, listen, I really appreciate that. Honestly, Chad, that's humbling. But yeah, I guess it's likewise, because what I've watched over the last 5 years with the growth of this group and the way you manage it and the way your mods manage it is, the exact philosophy we have. Do the right thing, be good to people, and focus on making music and being creative. And it's certainly what your group does. And like I tell everybody, the luckiest guy in the world, because I love music, and all I got to do is scroll through the Facebook page, and I hear amazing music. David Gabriel posted a song, all done on Helix, and he actually gave me a credit, which I am unbelievably humbled by, at the end of the video. And it was myself and my wife and my grandkids were listening to it. It was like, that's amazing. He just great, amazing talent. And they all get together and answer questions and find creative ways to do things, and it's brilliant. Love it.
now let's pivot into another topic. One that DefCon Clark says, if Line 6 customer service was a year, it would be the opposite of 2020.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the year we don't want to be.
So, to the future of Helix, everybody wants to get information about 3.0 and whatnot. And I know you probably can't talk much about it, but are we getting close? I saw somebody say, "Is the plane circling, or has it even started its engines yet?"
So the whole airplane reference, because I'm kind of an aviation buff. I've flown my share of miles commercially as a passenger, but I kind of related way back in 2015 when I think whatever the second major update came out. I related back to, well, the firmware update, the whole process is a flight from Boston to LA, because that's the one I take the most. And I had put us somewhere in wherever over Cleveland, and I would say we're probably approaching the Rockies.
Okay.
if we're in the same. But what I can say is we are the team's remote, but the team are killing it. They are knocking it out of the park. They are, busting their butts to deliver what will be an amazing firmware release. So, but when it comes, it will come when it's ready. As you know, we things come up. We talk to you guys. We're transparent. We tell you where we're at roughly, and we kind of, you get some hints from Eric at NAMM, what's in it.
Yeah.
And but the reality is, we test the hell out of it, and there's a lot of testing that has to be done at this point with all the platforms, and there's just a lot of testing, and that you don't get everything, and what you got to do is try to make sure you get all the bad ones, bugs, and flush them out, and then quickly get them squashed. And so there's really, it really is, it's you don't know, you can't plan on it because you don't know what bug's going to pop up. But as firmware releases go, I would say we are in really good shape. We're on track, and soon is my my standard response until it's very soon. But for now, it's soon.
Very, very good. Soon is, yeah. That's what I said. I said, I think I made a comment. I says, for every soon that Frank gives, he's going to add 2 more days to the end. Eric will.
I don't care. It's a running joke.
Yeah, it's
but
fun.
I got to be honest with you guys though. Nobody wants to get these releases out more than the team. Because here's the thing. For many months, they've known the goodness that will be in 3.0, and they can't wait for you to see it, and they can't wait for you to hear about. By the way, through your group, to hear about what you guys think about it and where we can do better and where we really nailed it. And so our team, there's no one who wants it out quicker than us, but we want it out absolutely right. Again, this is a premium product. We want to provide premium service and support. We also want to provide a solid firmware release that is, no firmware release is ever going to be perfect. It's not possible, but we want it to be as perfect as possible. And we want to, minimize any hassles. And so we test the hell out of it, basically. And that's our plan. We continue to do what we always do.
Well, I sort of have an understanding about this production whole shenanigans. And I will say, I had every desire to get things out absolutely on time for those new shields that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we had one problem, then another problem, and then we had to do this and we had to do that, and then our new laser is like 1 year old in our shop, and it's the first time. It's kind of like getting a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I would never know what that's like, but you get a Ferrari, and you imagine you're a little bit unsure of how everything works, and you don't want to break it because it's so expensive. And that's where we were at, and we got everything ready, and then we realized we were out of gas. We need the gas had all burped off in that year, so we had to order gas in, and then we had to figure out some problems that we were having. We fixed all that, and we're getting them out. But some of my response was this to them: you have no idea how much more I want you to have this than you want it. And
that's absolutely right.
It's just the case. But
yeah, hardware, software, it doesn't matter. If it's a product, you want to get, if it's your creation, you want to get it out to people to find out what they think about it, right?
Exactly.
And you tell them, but really, for our team, it's more about, I think Eric said this before, a lot of companies base success on units sold. And of course, we're a business. We love, we have to base success on units sold. But the team that creates Helix and Stomp and Podgo and the HX family, Team Helix they measure success by the number of features that they've come up with that people use. And, can they get people to try different things that they wouldn't have tried otherwise, without the ease of having it right there at the fingertips on Helix. And it's a really different view and perspective of the product when you get into the team, the way the team looks at it. It's really about, it's really pride and innovation. And innovation probably go hand in hand when that's what you're doing.
And Eric is so driven at the things that he wants to do, and when he accomplishes it, he gets so excited. At I remember how when the keyboard, the being able to do hotkeys from your Helix that controls your computer,
That's right.
he was so excited about that, and that's a testament to the desire he has to make a top-notch product. And what I find amazing, and this is again another feather in Line 6 cap. This particular machine, Helix, is 5 years old now. Is it 5 years?
Yeah,
Yeah,
5 years.
5 years old. That is hasn't even peaked its usefulness yet.
Dude, 3.0.
Yeah, and even after 3.0, I bet you it still has more horsepower that it could do. So this is unique in the high tech industry to be able to make something that will weather the 5 and 6 and 7 year,
True.
storm. Whereas if and I'm not. I want to preface this. I realize I have no information, nor Frank will say anything. But when inevitably Line 6 does come up with Helix 2, and I'm prefacing this, there's no news. I'm not saying it is. I'm not starting anything. But when they do, Helix 1 will still be valuable. Will still be amazing. So
100%.
yeah, so it's amazing.
Yeah. So we're proud of Helix, and I think everyone's going to be really happy when 3.0 comes out. I think there's some really creative and interesting stuff in there. And Eric Klein, I've been in this business in audio video. So I worked for Avid for many years, for 15 years prior to working for Line 6. I've been here 11. 11 this month, 11 in June. I've been in the business, and I've worked with dozens of product owners and managers, and I can only use the word genius with one, and that is Eric Klein. And the genius of Eric Klein is that he is so connected to the product he's developing, and he's so smart, and so he understands the market, and he understands, what players want, and he does that by listening on forums. And by the way, he's got a vast knowledge of his own. His background provides him plenty of knowledge, but he listens, he takes things in, and the way he approaches a product, it's amazing to work with someone like this. And I can't explain it unless you work with someone who's got that kind of vision, but it is unbelievable. And his vision has been absolutely clear this entire time. And so you can rest assured that wherever the Helix family goes or whatever comes, if it's being managed by Eric, it's going to be pretty cool, because he's a cool dude.
Yeah, I talked to him. I talked to him at NAMM, and I had expressed my desire for a very something, and I think he fully understood it. And I'm sure hoping it happens, and that's a time-based engagement of a pedal. So if you click a button, and you can program the amount of time it takes to ramp up or ramp out and drop out. And if we can add that, it's almost like being able to morph from one to another. I think Kemper does have a morph. I still, here's the thing, Helix is just so easy to program and use. I mean, my first, sorry guys, I got dirty hands from my ink. Sorry. But my first run with it, that live stream, in the infamous 7-hour live stream, I pulled it out of the box and I started using it. I had the Axifex FM3, and I pulled it out of the box and was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'm smart. I figured out how to use it, but I had to.
So some of that is obviously, the Axifex stuff. If you've used it, the FM3 is perfectly easy to use, because you know the UI. Just like Helix and you go to HX or you go to even Pago, there's that the UI familiarity that is really helpful. So I think a lot of that is, you've been using Helix for a long time, because I can tell you fractal stuff is, the earlier generation stuff was not all that easy to use. And I think Helix really did break ground when it came to actual UI and taking that complex set of things you got to do and making it really simple and intuitive, so that you just start doing it on your own without having to read a manual.
Well, with the Helix, or with the FM3, my problem was I could use the editor and I could get whatever I wanted, and it was fine. But the minute I went over to the unit itself, it would have taken me a long time to learn. And I thought to myself, well, tones are so subjective anyway. I really like the Helix. I like the way it works, and people know me, and you know me. If I like something better than the Helix, I would speak it. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. And you have, actually.
Yeah, and I just will not. I will not be without the Helix, and it's just, I don't really want to learn anything else. It's so easy to use the Helix. I can get in there. I can get what I've got. But I got some other things here, and I love like this new TC Electronic pedal that's right here. It's a fantastic pedal. But it's got a learning curve too, and I was able to program it straight out of the box, and I liked it. But I don't know that I'm going to spend a lot of time deep diving, because I don't want to. I just want to play guitar. And
so I think for a long time, modeling was, even the HD 500, you had to commit a little bit of learning to it. It's not, if you're just a musician and don't like messing around with tech stuff, it could have been a real turnoff. And it was, I'm sure, for many people. And I think the one thing Helix really did, and this was Eric's vision, again, the genius of Mr. Klein, was that all this power is there, but a lot of people won't even take the time because it's too confusing. And, now we're seeing the Helix tones brought all the way to Pod Go, which is a much lower price entry level, but all in one really powerful unit that certainly can't do what Helix can do, but the sound is the same.
Yes.
And the intuitive nature of the UI, I think, is the same. And there are a lot of new Podgo users on the gear page and on your pages, and most of what I see is people get it, and they're really astounded how quickly they can get a good sound. I think even quicker than people when Helix first came out could get a good sound.
Oh yeah.
So we're evolving to this point where the interaction with the player is going to be the easiest part. It's just about tone and what do you want to do, and that's where all these products come in. Is there's a whole bunch of different ways to do things and different ground to cover, as a musician, and providing solutions for all of those is really where it's going to come. But it has to be really user friendly. It has to be completely intuitive, because the technologies, it's like smartphones. I mean, you can't live without them now. And if you were to go back to the days of computing when it was MS DOS, run. I used to be able to program a little bit in the basic, right?
Yeah, me too.
And now look at what you can do by touching a screen.
Yeah.
So once you get that, okay, that's now
you're not going back.
No, now we're cooking. That means now you can really take whatever power you can get under that, UI, and make it available to millions of players. Where back in the day, and by the way, the day was 5, 10, 8 years ago, whatever. You had to at least commit some time to learning how it works, and you had to have that desire to do that, and not everybody does. So I think we're past that now. I think it really is about what product do you need, what problems do you need solved.
Now, how have people taken to the Power Cab Plus 212? Have people?
So the people who tried are blown away by it. I mean, you've got one, right? It's loud.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, it's keeping up with anything.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting. Uh, it does really well, by the way. But when I think it's a product that you really got to kind of just understand what it is you want to do with it. You get the FRFR and you get the speaker model, and they're both two very different things. But the flexibility of having both of them and being able to use them in really creative ways is huge. And the people who get it really get it. Richie Castellano has a 212 that he uses for his stage volume. He loves the thing. In fact, last time I saw him, God bless, I hope we get back to live music at some point soon.
Yeah.
He was using a wedge or something, and then he's like, you know what, I got to get one of those things. So we got him one, and he loves the thing. So it just depends on what you want, Chad.
Yeah.
It really depends on what you're trying to achieve. There are plenty of people who love going through an amp and switching you know what I mean, and switching channels and using an amplifier. There are plenty of people who want straight FRFR, and then PowerCap fits kind of a niche that is a combination of both. So it's a really cool product. It does very well too.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and loud and clear, and it's just
The 212 is loud, man.
yeah,
My office got when I was back at the office. I used to walk down to the CAP and they'd be, testing them and whatnot in our big auditorium. You've been there,
yeah,
the Carnegie Hall, and my gosh, it was loud, which is kind of cool.
yeah.
Very cool place to work.
It is. I actually had a dream at some point to work there, but I'd have to live in California. So
Well, we all dream of being back there right now, Chad.
yeah, yeah.
Me included.
So if they kind of clear up things, when do you hope that maybe you guys can go back and be, at work?
So it's up to LA County, really.
Yeah.
We're following the rules, and we can have some limited number of people there because of the type of business we are. But we can't go to normal operations until we get to. Honestly, I don't know the phase 3 or whatever, but it's completely up to the County of Los Angeles when they say, okay, you can go. Right now, I got to be honest, it doesn't look like it's any time in the next 3 or 4 or 5 months even.
Yeah.
At the rate we're going. Just because Los Angeles, I think it's been slightly better recently, but their numbers are really high.
Well, then you hear about all those parties in Calabasas.
Yeah.
Calabasas is apparently going to be a hotspot soon.
Yeah, well, I won't go there. There's a lot of, as you know, there's a lot of really big mansions and famous people in Calabasas.
Right, exactly. New rules for them and not for thee. So,
yeah.
Well, anything else you want to talk about?
No, listen. I do miss seeing you guys. I can't wait. And if NAMM happens, it happens. Like I said, I can't imagine it's going to, but if it does, great. If not, 2021. I cannot wait to see you and Steve Strelacki and Johnny Lee, and we got to get Kai Down in at some point.
Oh yeah.
Got to get him there. And DEF CON and Chris, everybody. You guys really are like family. You're certainly friends, and I miss you guys. I really do.
Oh, me too.
And by the way, for the bigger group, as many people as the NAMM will allow me to take, and they don't like me because I take a lot of people, I will try to get in the door. And as you know, I think last year the first year, I think we had 13 or 14 people who wanted to come to Los Angeles, to Anaheim, to go to NAMM and hang out with us and come to the event, the user event. Last year it was 57 people from all over the world.
Wow.
Personally, came to me personally and asked for credentials and came to NAMM and spent a week. And it's an amazing time. And I can't wait to get back to that. So.
Well,
I miss you guys.
I ditto, and I looked forward to it like it's a vacation, and I don't know why I would call it a vacation because I work harder
you work your butt off there, and you're like everywhere.
Yeah.
You and Chris, you guys are like everywhere.
Well, it is kind of a surreal feeling to go through a big place like this, lots of people, and to be recognized. It is an oddity, but I had some really, really good conversations with a lot of people, and unfortunately, what's really bad about that is you get into a nice conversation with somebody, you see somebody else that you would like to have a good conversation with, but you're in the middle of one, and you almost feel like you're neglecting them, and it's just a weird. You don't want to feel that way, and you don't want them to think that you're snubbing them, but it's so hard to divide amongst a lot of people. But it's always good to have you on and to talk with you, and to I look forward to seeing you again in person at some point. And
yeah, by the way, so Joe will do one of the. As soon as he can get a good connection and his issues are sorted out there, he's happy to
sure.
talk to you. I'm happy to talk to you anytime, Chad. Like I said, I miss you guys. I miss you. I want to connect, and hopefully, like I said, we'll nail this thing and get back to some form of normal.
Exactly. So,
because listen, I refuse to accept this is the new normal.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to cave in to somebody saying that this is the new normal, because this is nothing we've ever experienced. So
that's right.
So go ahead and stay on. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and say goodbye to everybody, and I'll just stay on. I'll be right with you after I end this. Alrighty, thank you guys very much for being here. I really appreciated. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Joe B on. We will have them on again, and we'll have another conversation. And next week, the show will move to 3 p.m. Pacific. I'm going to have David Packows of Singular Sound. We're going to talk over their new firmware. Everybody knows that I had some issues with some things, and I'm hoping to have a nice, frank discussion with David, and because I really want to like the items that they have. But with that, I bid you all a good night. I thank you for being here, and we will go out with this. Bye-bye. See you later. GearBySeba.com.